All right, Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect. This is word in our true faith and sincerity. And yeah, today, just want to get into a lesson on dealing with Maktesh, which is in Zephaniah 1 and 11, which ultimately this is talking about America, man. Because when you go into Maktesh, which I got it in a blue letter, that word Maktesh goes back to a mortar or a deep hollow. And if you go to your Google search, which I got it pretty much as this the thumbnail as the picture you see now, it's pretty much a crater. It's pretty much just a crater, man. A big hole in the ground, which ultimately that's what's going to happen to America. It's going to be a big desolate wasteland, man. You know, because Maktesh, was is a merchant city, man, and that's what America is, man. You know, so let's just get some scriptures, because ultimately, man, America's gonna be destroyed. You know, it's just gonna be that big hole in the ground. You know, so this is Zephaniah chapter 1. And I start at verse 10, and it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, see, the Lord got certain days set up, man. You know, he I can't think of the scripture right now, but he said certain feast days and holy days, and it's also just regular, ordinary days. Well, guess what? It's days of evil as well. It's a day of the Lord, you know. But it's a certain day, said the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills." And what's that talking about? When the money crash, man. You know, it says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." See, all the merchant people are cut down. Yeah, because through America, these other nations have became rich. Matter of fact, let's get that in Revelation 18 chapter. And that lets you know that Revelation 18 is talking about America, man. I mean, that's clearly talking about America, man. You know. Matter of fact, I started at the top. This is Revelation 18 and 1. "And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen." See? Because guess what? It's going to be divine intervention. It's going to be a high power. The Lord said he's not going to meet thee as a man, that's going to throw this place down. Because he was blessed with the sword, so it's not going to be no just some, I mean, like the Moabites is up next. No, man, the Lord is going to gather these other nations, and it's going to knock two birds out with one stone. I mean, and he's going to use these other nations to overthrow Babylon, but also he's gonna deal with the other nations as well. But America is that number one target. Yeah, I mean, this is the source of wickedness. You can call this the Esau's baby, man. The brother Masha said, call it. This is Esau's baby, man. So it says he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, "Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." See, man, that pretty much unclean animals is going to be here, man. It's going to be unclean animals. That way you're not going to be able to inhabit this place, America, man. And ultimately and guess what? That's what pretty much those are going to be desert creatures. If you look at Maktesh right now, it's a desert. You know, it's a desert. He says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her." Yeah, because in order for them to get that bread, for them to be rich, they have to follow under they had to go under the ways of democracy. That wine that the nations have drunk is democracy, man. It says and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. See, the merchants of the earth, and it pretty much that's why this is a import instead of a export. Everything is imported here in America, man. America doesn't make nothing. It might say made from America, but guess what, man? Best believe it came from Vietnam or China or something, man. They might even have it made in Korea, but a U.S. stamp on it. Everything is imported here, man. That's why all the other nations are rich. See, out of nowhere, Japan just came up. Out of nowhere, Moab just up there. Why? Because they have drunk in that wine of democracy, man. You know, and America is like I said, that merchant city. This is what this is where they get their money at, man. It displaces America. And so that's why when you jump down to verse 9, it says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Yeah, because this America discretion is going to be televised, man. You know, everyone is going to see the reward of the wicked. And why are they crying? Why are they lamenting? Because that's how they got their bread, man. That's how they became rich. You know so without America, how else is they gonna continue on? And that's what these America make it seem like without them, which that without America, these other nations will still be third world countries. But they had to sell out. They had to be a democracy, man. You know, it says, "Standing afar off for the fearful torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." See, that mighty city, man. That merchant city, man. It says, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." See? Why? Because this place is going to be utterly destroyed. That's why it says the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the works therein too, man. Cause it said nobody's gonna be able to buy the merchandise. Ain't nobody. It's not gonna be inhabited no more at the end of the day. And then let's jump down some more because it goes into what everything that was being traded. So let's jump down to verse 15. He said, "The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing." See, these certain things, they were made rich by her because, like I said, this is an import, man. You want to get your business started, go to America, and that's why you see these other nations coming over here, man. Like they got that so-called you call it the Great Migration. You got Ellis Island and all that. Why they did that? So they can make a better living for themselves. Oh, you got Moab. Moab was the one that was building the railroads and all that. You know, it says It says, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, that with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. See, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, man. Cause guess what? Let's get that again. Let's go back to it. It says, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. See, because this place is gonna be totally destroyed. You know, it's gonna be totally destroyed. So it says, in 1 hour is so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Yeah, man. Because who else you gonna make your money off of, man? You know? Let's see. Yep, it says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, and when it said they cast dust on their head, that just mean that mourning, man. That was a ancient custom of showing that you're mourning, man. You know, it says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, and because back then, when you mourn, you know, especially you use a wrench of clothes and all that, man. So that was a deep emotion, man. You know, it says, saying, alas, alas, that great city, see, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Yeah, that's why these devils, they got the Atlantic Ocean, they get and they got the Pacific Ocean, man. So they bring stuff in constantly, man. That lets you know this is horror, because the only thing she's doing is taking things in, man. You know? And she is made desolate. So this place, America is gonna be is that hole in the ground. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be that big hole in the ground, and it, hey, that's what the scripture says, man. You know, we know ultimately, uh, when you go into these prophecies, they always lead back up to America, man. Always, you know. Let's see if I can get some. I'm trying to make it too long. Let's see. Bear with me, Akim. Trying to find it real quick. I know it's not. What is it? Yep. This is it's so heavy. Yep, this is Baruch chapter 4, and I start at verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. And yeah, how's the Lord doing it now? With the scriptures, man. We know that this place is not going to be here for too long. It says, miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoice at thy fall. See, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. See, because, hey, man, the city, especially here in America, this is that great city. You know, it said, miserable is she that received thy sons. Who? America, man. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, and they was, you know, or the scripture say they send gifts one to another. Matter of fact, let's get that. They rejoiced at our fall, man. Let's see. This is Revelation 11 and and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. See? That great city, Sodom and Egypt, that double scrapes, you know. It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. See? So they rejoice at our downfall in this city, man. So let's go back to this Baruch 4 and uh 32. It said, Mizpah are the cities which thy children serve. And how those cities are going to be miserable, because it's going to be desolate, man. It says, miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. That's why, howl ye, and you inhabitants of Maktesh. Why? Because hell is coming to this place, man. See, the Lord is not going to be just a just taking out Lassie, just putting out his misery. No, the Lord is going to slowly is slowly torturing this place, man. The way it says a place shall come in one day, death, mourning, famine, then destruction. It's gonna be a process on how this place is going down, man. And that's why you see the things is being turned into mourning. It says, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. See, that lets you know this talking about America, man. Lets you know this talking about America. Because what else is talking about? This says that in Revelation 18, it's gonna be that desert, man. It's gonna be the world's largest desert, and the only thing that's gonna be here is desert creatures. You look at Maktesh now, it's just a big hole in the ground. How's that gonna happen to America by the way of those thermonuclear missiles? So yeah, Aki, man, I just hope they were edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect teach the word, our true faith and charity. DTA, abide the ball.